I also tried that one also, but there was no option.
You
The
have to
EHS
go through the video recording very clearly. See, if I have not done that, I will not ask you to create. Okay, I will not tell you to create if I have not spoke about that. Anyways, you share me the screenshot, whatever you have created, no? Any of you, send me the screenshot, let me check.
sure, sir.
And yesterday, so in the last class, we were creating injury illness report, right? Injury illness log.
Yeah.
Okay, CBIH 72 for creating injury illness log. I think yesterday, what was the name?
You can space
102?
backspace. Not sure.
Yeah, this is the one. 16th, I created. We started creating on 16th. Yesterday was 18.
Okay.
Before that was 17. Yeah, I had put 16th as the date, no? Date of injury I had put as 16. That is why it is showing here like that. Right, this is the one, no? Reportable, the time when the first aid was given, all that. I think we were here.
Yeah.
We were at treatment location, I think.
Treatment location. No, we had just created basic data first, and then I saved that injury illness log because it got disconnected, no?
Yeah.
So
We were
added
at
the
treatment location like that. Yeah.
we
That's
added
the
injury illness log entry type name, then the entry type as first aid at accident with referral. I also gave you example how you can create other options. By going to SPRO, you can create new entry types also. That also I had told you in the last class. Next, in which
Sir,
plant this injury?
in log entry, it is asking some object. So how we can miss, like, I have some another system
Hmm.
where I have tried,
Hmm.
but it is asking for some object.
Why didn't you also? You could have messaged me, no?
Just few minutes ago I have touched. Okay. I will share this screenshot.
See, why I tell you? Because we have just 1 hour in the class. So, if I take up most of the time in the doubts itself, then we cannot complete other things. We started this in 2 weeks back, right? Occupational health, we started 2 weeks back.
Yes, sir.
Don't wait till you connect with me in the class. That is why we have the WhatsApp group. That is why we have the WhatsApp communication method. So that you people can contact me even, outside the class hours. This we created, no, new one. And the object class, if it is asking, this is the object name you have to add. CBIHN underscore FAID. See, I think you people are not going through the recording. I get that feeling now. You are simply blindly trying out, not going through the video recording. Because if you went through the video recording, definitely you have got this object name.
Okay.
Leave a user exit blank, add the transfer control as 0, and then add this object name CBIHN underscore FAID. Okay, then we added it is a reportable injury and at what time we gave the first aid treatment, all that we added. And then see, as soon as you save that injury illness log, you will be having these other tabs. The first tab here is called involved. Who are the people involved in this injury or illness? Like for example, this is the injured person, the actual employee who got injured. I have added his name. Apart from that, whose name we can add here? Like definitely he will be having some supervisor or manager. If you have a supervisor name for this employee, you can add even that person. as the involved person. Okay, supervisor you can add. Let's say the supervisor is somebody, I'll add from the list. Let me add somebody as a supervisor for this employee. And not only that, if there is any eyewitness who saw this injury happen, you can also add an eyewitness. This is important, especially in the incident accident log. You will see that eyewitness is an important person. All your investigation related data will come mostly from the eyewitness. But here also they have given an option, you can add an eyewitness here as well. Let's say if two people were working, one person got injured while the other person was there. So he will become an eyewitness. Right? Let's say I was doing some drilling work. During the drilling work, my eye got injured. Okay, beside me there was another person who was working there as a helper. So he is your eyewitness when this injury happened. So add the eyewitness also if you want here in the involved people. And not only that, see, you can also take a small statement from each of these people. Like for example, from the person injured will take some statement from him. Double click on that person affected, and if you go down, you can record the statement. First you have to again add the time and date when you are taking the statement from this injured person. He is already injured, so immediately you will not take the statement. Maybe later on you might have taken. So add some later time. Then yeah, what is he saying? How did he got injured? You can say that I fell from ladder while changing the light bulb in production area. Okay, just as an example. So what is he saying? He is saying that he was actually working on a ladder. It slipped and he fell from the ladder. That is the kind of incident related detail he is giving. Okay, you got that. So who is telling this? Harry Abrams, because he is the injured person. If you want, you can take the statement even from an eyewitness. So again, you double click on the eyewitness and add date and time, and you can ask like what happened, you were there, why you did not do anything, like that. Some statement you can take. Okay, let me change this to maybe 19. Yeah, so what is the eyewitness saying? Eyewitness will say that I was standing at the ladder when I heard the sound from falling person. Okay, again, just as an example only, we are recording this. He was standing at the ladder, maybe doing some other work, and he heard loud noise. When he saw that the person had already fell down. That is the statement that is given by the eyewitness. Okay, I hope you can connect what I am trying to create here. We have one person who is injured. Okay, we took this statement from him. He said while doing what he got injured. Another person was also there called eyewitness. So from eyewitness also we can take statement asking him what you were doing, what happened, okay, what did you see, like that we can take statement from him. Can we take statement from supervisor? We can take, I mean,
Yes,
I'm not saying we cannot take, we can take, but let's say that supervisor not there at that time of injury. He was in some other location. Okay, so we just have to mention the name of the supervisor. Maybe he is not involved in this injury. He has nothing to do with this injury. So you don't have to take this statement from the supervisor. Even if you ask what he will tell. He will tell, boss, sorry, I was not there at that location. I was at some other place. So I did not know what happened. Only later on I got to know about this injury. So what more can you ask? So therefore, better not to take this statement from the supervisor. Right? So save this involved people. Next, go to first aid or follow-up treatment. Right? So what kind of treatment did you give? Let me select the first aid. First aid after accident. Okay, let me select this first. First aid after accident. And do you need any follow-up treatment? Let's assume, yeah, he got fractured. So definitely you need a follow-up treatment. Follow-up treatment means what? What is follow-up treatment?
Further treatment after first aid.
Yeah, after first aid, because see, you can only give first aid in the company. If you have to go and consult a orthopedic doctor, he is not available in the company. You have to take him to the hospital, and you have to get the X-ray also. X-ray machine you will not keep in your company. So therefore, definitely we have to send him for a further treatment. Okay, when are you planning to take him? Let's say we are planning to take tomorrow. You can put any date. Let me put as 20th. And actual date, if it is different from planned date, you can put some other date. Again, there are no restrictions. You can put today's date also. Okay, so these are, okay, the required medical measure is not filled. Yeah. Yeah, fine. Right, like that you can add. And also, why here this is disabled? Here actually we should be able to add like what kind of first aid treatment we had given. Okay, let me try once again because I'm right. Just like how we have added here details, here also you should be able to add. Maybe while creating this injury illness log, I might not have added here. Before adding itself, I might have saved. That is why it is not coming. But you should be able to add what kind of first aid treatment was given, what kind of follow-up treatment will be done. Both of these options you can add. But unfortunately here it is disabled. I don't think I will be able to add. But I hope you can get the point. I will just tell you, like in the place of aid given, I can say that the injured body part was cleaned and some medicine was applied. Okay, let's say that is the first aid we have given. The injured body part was cleaned and medication was administered. Okay, let's say that is the first aid. In the follow-up treatment, what will you write? You can say that we have to consult the orthopedic surgeon as a follow-up treatment. Right? That will be your follow-up treatment. Unfortunately, because yesterday we got disconnected, no, I did not continue. I simply saved the data. Maybe that is why here I am not able to add now. But when you are creating, please remember we have to enter some information about first aid given and then the follow-up treatment. Anyways, let me add that again because we deleted. Plan date, actual date. Right. Now let's move on to the third tab called event tab. Event means exactly when this injury happened, where it happened, those details. So date is same. Seized work means what do you know? What is this they are asking? Time of event, okay. They are asking seized work. What is it actually? What is seized work?
Maybe his duty hours. Maybe his or duty hours.
No, but if he is injured, how can he continue to work?
No, means he injured at a time of around 4:51. So from when he was working on that locations, maybe that time.
Yeah.
Maybe his shift starts in the morning at 8 a.m. So that might be
Yeah.
the.
But see, seized work means when did he stop working? I'm sure as soon as he fell from height, he stopped working, right? Some people, what they will do, they will continue to work. Like if it is a small injury, like a cut or something, they will not stop the work. They will continue. Later on, they will go and get the medication. So the seized work time may be different in some cases whenever there is a small injury. But here we are speaking about fracture. So I'm sure he cannot continue working. So therefore what I will put here, I will put the time as 16:53 for example. Okay. So he stopped working immediately. That is the meaning of ceased work. When did he stop working? Next, in which work area did he got injured? Again, work area we are going to understand in the industrial hygiene and safety. So work area is nothing but it is a location in the plant or it is a section in the plant where actually this kind of injury happened. So you can create a work area, a number of them you can create. But how to create and all, we'll see that in industrial hygiene and safety. But for now, I'm just selecting some work area called WA01 and then I'm going to, so okay, there are no accident locations, fine. So accident location means in that particular work area, what are the most probable locations where the accident will happen? Like in a plant, where do you think most of the accidents will happen? The accidents may happen in the production area, accidents may happen in the electrical room, accidents may happen in the boiler room, right? Or it can happen even in the maybe warehouse sometimes. So accident location means what are those areas where you think there is a high probability that accident will happen. See, if you have traveled to any hill station, have you seen there will be a signage board called accident zone? Have you seen that? Especially it is displayed in near the hill stations. So wherever there is a sharp curve, there they will put up the signboard, accident zone. Why do they put that accident zone signboard? Don't we know that accident will happen?
Earlier means sometimes accident was happen there.
Yeah,
That's why.
yes. See, we know.
Frequently happening zone.
Yeah, tell Nila.
Frequently accident happening zone. We'll name
Yeah,
it as.
absolutely, absolutely. If you look at the historical data, you will find that at that particular point, multiple times accidents have been reported at that one place. Accidents can happen anywhere, that's true. But particularly in that area, it was observed that earlier there were a lot of accidents. So that is why they call it as an accident zone. Even in the company, there will be some places where there is a high probability that the accident may happen because of the nature, physical environment of that area is such that accidents may happen. So we have to identify all those places and we call them as accident locations. So again, they have not created for this work area, no values are there. But yeah, when we go to industrial hygiene and safety, we'll see how to create this accident location. But here what you can do is you can add a description. So I will say that description is production area of the plant 1100. Okay, just I am giving a description where this event happened. Next you can add some internal note and external note. What will be the internal note? Internal note may be what can we add? The injured person failed to check the ladder. Failed to check the damaged ladder legs. Okay. Normally what happens, in a company, if you are working, before you use any tool, it can be a hand tool, it can be a spanner, it can be anything, any tool, or it can even be a ladder. Before you use anything, you have to check whether inspection has been done or not, whether it is in good condition or not. You have to check. The person who is going to use the tool, they have to check every equipment. It can be a drilling machine, it can be welding machine, anything. They have to check, or it can be a grinding machine. So before you use any equipment, you have to always check, physically check whether it is damaged or not. It is one of the good practices in safety. So therefore, this person, when he was trying to change the light bulb, he should have checked the ladder, but he did not do that. So again, it's part the mistake of the employee also, right? So that is an internal note. External note, I will say that inspection must be carried out for every tool in the company. Okay, it can be any tool. You have to carry out an inspection. So that's an external note I'm adding, because the injury happened because of the broken ladder. So you can add this as a remark, internal remark and an external remark. Like this you can add. Okay, are you following? Clear so far? Next, let's move on to injuries. Yeah, so what kind of injury did he sustain? Say there are two options here, main injury and old injury. So what should I select? Should I select main injury or old injury?
Main injury.
Main injury, because it happened today. It is the latest, first time it has happened. Old injury means sometimes the people may be injured last week, but while they are working, that old injury may again start bleeding, or some other complication may happen. In such a case, we have to select old injury. But this is a fresh injury which has occurred, so I have to select the main injury. Okay, what type of injury it is? See, we have lot of options here. All these options, you can add more options also, but you have to go to phrase management and you have to create the phrases. Again, we'll see that in the basic data and tools. But anyways, these are the different types of injuries and illnesses that may occur. Which one should I select?
Fracture, close.
Fracture, yeah, fracture. Because I told you it is nothing but a fracture. That is why we are taking him to the external hospital. So the injury is fracture. Select fracture. Okay, then select this as a main injury, and then description of injury. I can say that right leg was fractured, or right toe was fractured. Okay, this is the description of injury. Body part, again, there are some body parts given here. If you want to add more body parts, you can do it again by creating the phrases. So here, the body part is which one?
Hand.
No, not hand. Toe means what? It will come at the leg.
Leg.
So you can either select leg or you can select foot. Both are fine. Let me select foot itself, because it is more closer to your toe. Right? So I can again add here right toe of feet. That is the body part description. Again, body side no need to add, because we are already saying it is a right toe, so it is understood. So no need to say whether the body side was right side or left side. It's not required. This is the nature of the injury we have selected. But tell me one thing, why they have given so many options here? So many fields they have given. Why they have given so many fields?
Maybe he sustained more than one injury at a
Yeah,
in a
it is
single
possible,
accident.
right? Yes, it may be possible. See, a person working at height, let's say somebody is standing on a ladder and he is changing the light bulb, and he slipped and he fell to the ground. Do you think only leg fracture will happen? Even his head may get injured, right? He may bump into some other object below and he may get head injury. His hand may get broken, that also may get fractured, okay, or anything else may happen, or some cut may also happen. So therefore, when you are creating an injury illness log, don't think we have to report just one single injury. Sometimes the accidents are such that he may sustain more than one injury. In such a case, you can add here, right? So apart from a fracture, if there was any cut to his eyebrow, near the eyebrow, you can add that. So for multiple injuries, they have given so many other options. You can report multiple injuries if you want. Okay. So that is the injury part. Next, let's go to the treatment location. So where did we give him the treatment? There are two options here. Either you may give him the first aid treatment in the first aid room and first aid station. But apart from that, if you have a medical center, let's say, medical center in the company, you can also add that as an entry location. We call it as an entry location. So for example, let me go to SPRO again. Okay, see here, if you come down, we have an option called define entry locations. So if you want to add entry location, actually means from where you are creating this injury illness log. Are you creating from the first aid room or first aid station or from some other place you are creating this injury illness log? That they are asking. So if at all there is any other new location, you can add that name also here. For example, medical center. Okay. Planned not required. Directly you can enter medical center. There are a lot of customizations you can do. Please go through this, very important, because I cannot cover everything. I have time limitation. So this is one of the other configuration you can do. You can create different entry locations. Now, after having created that, here we'll get the option log entry location description. I can select either first aid room or medical center. Let me select this medical center. Next, who is the first aider? In other countries, not anybody can give the first aid treatment. It should be an authorized person who has received the proper training. In India, it is not like that. Anybody will become a doctor, anybody will give their own ideas, and they will do more damage to that injured person. So in other countries, you cannot touch him until and unless you are not a trained first aider. Correct? So, like here, people, when they are trying to help, but during that process, they may do more damage than helping the person. So therefore, it is strictly prohibited for a non-first aider to give the first aid treatment. It should be given by a trained first aider. So therefore, add the person name. Who is that first aider that gave the first aid treatment? Especially if you go to construction companies, there will be first aid boys or first aid persons in every construction site. If not doctor, at least there will be a first aid providers. Okay, select the first aider name. And then there are other details. See, I think initially we did not add all this. That is why it was not coming. Okay. So when you were giving the first aid treatment, what was the condition of the person? Was the person unconscious? If yes, you can select the option. Where did you give the first aid treatment? In the emergency room or in the medical center? Again, that you can make a choice. What is resuscitation? Resuscitation performed. What is resuscitation?
CPR, sir, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, first aid, to activate
CPR.
the heart.
Yeah, cardiopulmonary resuscitation. So in short, they have given resuscitation. For those of you who don't know, I will just show you. because some of you may not know what it is. I hope everybody might have seen this at least in movies, right? If a person is not breathing, okay, if a person is suffocating, for example, so therefore what they will do is they will provide a CPR. CPR means cardiopulmonary resuscitation. So it is done like this, especially for you, Adesh, because maybe you are not aware, I don't know. So if a person is having a cardiac arrest, especially, or if a person got a huge electrical shock, again he will not be able to breathe, he will be having a cardiac arrest. So at that time, they have to follow this procedure. They have to give artificial breathing, they have to do the chest compressions so that we can revive him, and until the ambulance comes you have to do this. So this is called CPR, right? So this again only a trained person should do. Not anybody can simply pump his heart. That will not be again logical. So they are asking whether resuscitation was performed or not. Do you think we have to give CPR if the person is having fracture? Is it required?
No.
No.
No, not required, because he is able to breathe. The problem is with his leg, not with his heart. So not required. Does hospitalization is required? Again, I don't think these options are applicable here. So whichever applicable, select only those options. Just because they have given an option, don't start selecting everything. Okay, again below that we have means of transportation for patient. How did you bring him to the first aid room? Let's say he fell down and he got his ankle fractured or toe fractured. So how will you take him to the first aid room? You cannot make
Maybe
him walk.
two person carry him and drop him to the first aid center. That will be
Yeah,
the case.
that
Or
could
maybe
be possible.
maybe stretcher is available there.
Hmm.
It can be
Yeah.
transported with.
Yes. Or sometimes if the plant is very big, see if you have seen any power generation plant, I have seen that, or any steel plant or aluminum plant, it will be huge. It will be huge. The medical center will be some 2-3 kilometer away. Okay, at least 2 kilometer away. And the person who got injured may be in some other location in the corner of that plant. So even stretcher may not be a viable option in such a case. So you will immediately call the ambulance. The ambulance will come. You will put him into the ambulance and you will send. So whatever is the mode of transportation available, you have to select that. Okay, to the first aid center. Whether you took him by feet, if there was a small cut to hand, you can take him. You can make him walk. But it is related to leg fracture. We cannot use this option. Private car, if it is available, fine. Otherwise, you have to go for the ambulance. Right? Rescue helicopters, I don't think we use it very frequently. At least in India, it's not there as an option. But yeah, if you are working on an oil rig, in the middle of the ocean, there they will use rescue helicopters. Or if there was any accident in the mountains or in the, let's say, mining area, there they will use the helicopters. In normal companies and all, they cannot afford a helicopter and all. So let's say we just use the ambulance to carry him to the first aid room. Because in a plant, the area will be very big. You cannot even use the stretcher. Similarly, for further treatment, obviously you have to use ambulance, or you can even use a private car if you have, but most of the times it will be ambulance. Okay, means of transportation of the patient to the first aid room and to the further treatment. Next, will you send that injured person alone for the further treatment? Let's say in your company, one employee is injured, okay, and you have to take him to some hospital for further treatment. So what do you think? Will you tell him to go by himself or somebody will accompany him? What is the proper thing to do?
His family members can accompany him, and
Okay.
one representative from the organization.
Yeah, somebody like HR executive, at least they should have that morality to go with him, right? He was working for the company, so they have to show some responsibility. They cannot say, "जाओ यार, हमने first aid दे दिया, now you can go yourself." We should not say like that. Okay, somebody should go inquire about his health, see whether any help is required in, insurance claim. So somebody has to go. It can be a welfare officer or HR executive, somebody. So that is why they are asking for further medical treatment. Who is going to accompany him? That you have to select. Maybe HR executive. He has to go with that employee. Select anyone. Okay, let us select Bob. Right, select the person, and then there is another option they have given called additional information. By the way, we don't have any option to add any data. See, they have just given options like cut, paste, copy, paste, and undo, but we don't have a text box. If they had given a text box, we can add some additional information also related to that injury or illness, but unfortunately we don't have, so leave it as it is, no problem. We have added who are the involved people in this injury, and what kind of first aid and follow-up treatment was given to him, where this injury occurred, in which location, at what time, and you have also added some description. Then what type of injury was sustained and which body part. The injury was fracture, the body part was foot. That you have to add here. Next, treatment location. Where did you give the first aid treatment? How did you take him to that first aid facility? And who is going to accompany him for further treatment? Those details you can add in the treatment location. And additional information, if at all there is an option in the real system to add this data, you could do that, but here we don't have any option to add. Right, so after all adding all this data, next simply save on this injury illness log. Okay, and if you go back, you will see that your injury illness log is created, and further what you can do is you can change the status. So after creating injury illness log, what will you do? You have to send it to your manager or to your reporting authority, right? So that he can check the details of that injury, or he can give some inputs, or he can modify some data. So you have to send this injury illness log to the next person, like your manager. And how will you share it to that person? This is created by safety officer, let's say, or any first aider. It will go to the EHS manager. How it will go? Automatically it will go. We have to change the status. So if you go to injury illness log, there is one status switch option. So if you select switch to next status, what will happen? This status will change, and this injury illness related data will be shared with the manager. Okay, he will get a notification that there is an injury illness log created. So he will open that again. He will go into the details of that injury illness log. Maybe he will ask some questions with that safety officer, and if something has to be modified, he will modify the data, and then again he will save. Okay, this will be done by the higher person, higher authority, like EHS manager or safety manager, anybody like that.
So where we can maintain the address or details of that manager and all is how it
That we
will
have to
be.
configure. During the configuration, they have to enter the person's name and the person's email address. It will be done via workflow. You know workflow?
Yes.
By using the workflow, they are going to design it.
Okay. So setting related to that will be in the same node, right? Injury, illness, log, entry.
Yeah, it
Injury.
will be. Yes.
Okay.
But you have to use the transaction code applicable for workflow, and there they are going to do it. it. So it's like technical. It's like
Okay.
a technical data object. But we have to use workflow here.
Understood.
Okay, so after making those changes, the manager will save the injury illness log, and then what he'll do, if everything is fine, again he will change the status. So once you click on switch to status, see what will happen. Now the status is closed. The injury illness log is now closed. Can you make any changes now? If you go again into this injury illness log, see the data is now permanent. You cannot make any changes. All this data, whatever we have maintained, that will become a permanent data. You cannot change anything. So therefore, before you close any injury illness log, just ensure that you have entered all the data and there are no changes required, and then only you have to close. Because once closed, you cannot modify anything.
Sometimes mistakenly, if you close and if you want to modify something, means again we need to create another one, sir.
No need to create another one. Again, you have to tell the technical consultant. They will again bring back the status to the original one. They will put it back to in process. But again, that's a lengthy thing, lengthy procedure. So better to avoid. But yeah, it can be done. I mean, it's just a software. If you want to change the status to in process or to any other status, you can do it. But directly you cannot change. It will be done via a technical consultant.
Okay, sir.
So now the injury illness log is having the status closed. Next, what we can do, there is another thing we can do, we can perform. We can actually generate a report from this. This is an injury illness log, digital data we have created. But how will you generate a report? See, report is different from this log. Log means inside the software we have created some data. Like how should I say? Okay, like you want to book a railway ticket. Fine, you want to book a railway ticket. What do? You will go to the IRCTC website. You will enter all the details. You will make the payment. And at the end, what are you going to do?
I will download the ticket.
Yeah, either you can download or you can print. Because whatever you have done so far, no, that is done digitally. You have just created some data online. But if you want a physical copy, how are you going to get that? You have to take a printout, no? Similarly, here, whatever data we have created is a digital data. Now you want an injury illness report. So in order to generate that, you see here there is an option called injury illness log reports. If you click on this, it will take you to another screen. Yeah, we have to save the data, fine. It will take you to another screen called as report information system, where the system has generated a report for our injury illness log. This was our injury illness log. For this injury illness log, it has generated a report. And that report name is called as first report of injury. Okay, that is the name of the report, first report of injury. And if you want to see that report, you have to click here. You see here below, there is an option. It's a report icon. If you click on that, it will open the report. But before that, if you observe on the right hand side, this report is available in English and it is actually an injury illness report. Now, if you click here on this icon, it will show you exactly how that report looks like and what data it contains. You can see that in detail. Click on allow. Like if you are generating in a report, if you get this screen, click on allow. Okay, see, this is called as a report, first report of injury. A very simple report it is. It contains employee name, his details, okay, when this injury happened, date of event, time, where it happened, and description also, like what exactly happened, how it happened. That description will be there. Which are the injured body parts, what kind of injuries were sustained by him, and who was the first aider, when did it stop working, all these details, whatever we have maintained, no, that you can see here. This is a very simple first report of injury. It may not be to your liking, like, sometimes the company may not like this report format. They want to use some other format. They want to use a more complex format. So therefore you have to design this report template separately and then you can use it. But SAP has just given this as a sample and it is very simple to understand, and they are calling it as a first report of injury. Maybe in your company it may be a different format, so therefore you have to design it and then you can use that report. Now this report directly, if you want, you can save it on your laptop or you can give a print, take a printout. It's your choice. This is a report, right? Injury illness report. And that too, it is generated in MS Word format. This is in MS Word.
So can we generate it in the smart form, like in PDF format?
Yeah, we can. I mean, it depends like which one the client wants to use. We have to ask him whether he wants the report in the PDF format or in the MS Word format. Accordingly, you have to do the configuration.
Okay.
Right, so this is a first report of injury which is generated from the report information system. Like that, first you have to create an injury illness log by coming to this transaction code CBIH72 and then change the status if you want, or directly also you can generate a report. Not necessary that you should close and only then generate. Before that also you can generate, no problem. And some customizations are also there, like I told you. You can create entry type, different entry types, different injury types, and you can also create phrases related to any other body part if you want to add. All that customization can be done. So not only looking at this application part, please also go to SPRO and try to configure some data. Strictly because of time limitation, I cannot cover everything. But what I suggest is definitely go to this SPRO and check out. Like you can even read the material here. See, for example, define entry locations. If you click here on the document icon, it will give you some information about that. What is the entry location? Why do we have to create? How do we have to create? That data they will give you. See here, in this IMG activity, you specify locations where injury or illness log entries are made. Whether you are doing it from the first aid room or from the medical center or from EHS department, you can create the entry locations. So don't forget to read this material. At every configuration, there will be this documentation available. Okay, please go to this and read. It will give you a lot of very valuable information. And lot of questions also will be clear for you. Right? So please also concentrate on this SPRO function and check out, read all this material which is there under each option. I know it is a very lengthy procedure. There are a lot of options in this, lot of customization, but I think you have to also study that. And apart from that, there is one more thing. Adesh, you had asked for the flow chart or exactly what is the process steps, right, with respect to laboratory.
Yes.
Yeah, just for laboratory, we don't have any separate workflow. But what you can do is laboratory is actually a part of your overall process in your occupational health. Laboratory is one of the part. So there is no any standard process steps or anything like that. But what you can do is you have to take the input from the client and then you have to design that solution. Because different companies follow different steps. But always the trigger point comes from the external source. Like if any injury has happened, you have to start that entire process. Or let's say if there is any medical checkup for which you have to send the employee, again that will be the trigger point. So if I have to just give you some information, again, like I told you, there is no standard format or anything.
No, sir. My question was like means uh, suppose we have create health surveillance protocol. So
Ah,
now we have created there some protocol frequencies, regulations, examinations. In
hmm.
under examinations, laboratory like lab
Physical
tests
test,
and
lab
all.
test, yeah, that's
Mhm.
right. Okay.
So, miss, like that, I wanted to understand the workflow, miss, how what data we have, means whatever data we have created, how where we can use or where we can link that. That's that's what I am asking.
Yeah, I
But I got now means like in medical service, we can assign the medical service to the particular
uh,
person, and in that also we can assign the health surveillance protocol
yes,
like that.
exactly. See, it always starts from the health surveillance protocol. Let's take some example. If there is an employee X and he has to go for a medical checkup. So what will happen? First and foremost, you have to decide which is the health surveillance protocol he will be going for, or which health surveillance protocol is applicable to him. That is the first step. Second step is we have to open a medical service. Very important step. We have to open a medical service. And in the third step, we have to create an appointment. Okay, so fine. He has to go for a medical checkup. So the third step will be we will take an appointment or create an appointment for that medical checkup. That is step number 3. Step number 4 is you have to share the invitation letter. Again, all these are connected via workflow. After you have created a medical in the medical practice calendar, after you have created the appointment, next you can share the invitation letter with the employee. Then that employee will go to the health center, whichever is the health center that he is supposed to go and report. He will go there. That will be the step number 4. After completing all the medical checkups, the medical report will be generated in the external system, okay, in that hospital. Then in the last step, you are going to receive that medical report either via email, or maybe if you are using any external interface, then via external interface you will receive the report. Once the report is received, then you can decide whether any further treatment or further test has to be done, or are you going to stop there. So it is going to happen like that, step by step. First, we have to create a laboratory, that is there, because most of the tests are going to happen in the laboratory. We have to also create a health surveillance protocol, and then we have to go to planning cockpit, and in planning cockpit we have to assign the health surveillance protocol, we have to open a medical service, and then we have to create a appointment. And step number 4 is sharing invitation letter and questionnaire. That happens in step number 4. Step number 5 is that employee will go to that laboratory or health center, whatever, and he will go and report. Once he reports, the medical checkup is going to be completed. That is step number 5. Medical test will be done and his medical checkup will be completed at that particular location. And step number 6, whatever medical report is there, that will be generated and shared via email, or maybe if you have any external interface with your SAP system, you are going to receive those reports. And in the last step, step number 7, the HR will decide, or the if there is a industrial hygienist, that industrial hygienist will decide whether do we need to do any additional test for him, or this is enough. If the reports are normal, then you don't have to again repeat any medical test. So that is where your loop will end. It started by creating a health surveillance protocol, and it is going to end after you have received the medical report. So there may be some deviations also, like depending on what kind of medical checkup it is, there may be some changes in these steps, but ideally this is how the flow will continue. Creation of your business partners, laboratory, health center, all that, then creating the health surveillance protocol. From that it will go to planning cockpit, and from there, like I told you, step by step it will go up to the medical center. From there you will get the medical reports, and there it will close. But yeah, you can also create a loop. If there are some abnormalities in the report, you can again send him for any further test. So again you have to go back to the starting of the loop, where you have to assign the health surveillance protocol. Again, you have to open the medical service. Again, you have to take an appointment. Again, that will continue. So that is how it works. But there is no fixed procedure as such. There is no fixed steps that you have to follow. It will vary
Okay,
from company to company. It will vary.
and what about this? Today we saw means injury and illness log. This
Yeah.
is last step, right?
Yeah, exactly. See, again, I told you what is the triggering point for creating your medical appointment. Like you go to planning cockpit and you create an appointment. No, what is the triggering point? What will force you to create that appointment?
There may be the some injury or something
Exactly.
happen
So that
later.
is the starting point.
Mm-hmm.
If the injury has occurred and if you have to send him for any further treatment, that is the input, first step. Or if the employee is going for a regular medical checkup, that will be the input. It can either be employment checkup, or it can be a regular medical checkup, or it can be an injury or illness which happens on a day-to-day basis. That will be the trigger point. From there, the flow will continue with the planning cockpit, like I told, and it will end at the last step once you receive the medical report.
And what about protocol log? It contains all the information, right?
Yeah, it contains what medical test has to be done for that employee. Because health surveillance protocol means what? It is the medical checkup. What medical checkup has to be done? So we have seen that, no? If for vaccination, then how many times he has to go for vaccination? What should be the duration?